What's up, everyone? Welcome to my channel. I'm Ryan Becker, and every week I make new videos discussing things that I find absurd in religion, culture, and society. If this is your first time here, welcome. I hope you enjoy my content, subscribe, and come back for more. This week, I want to flip a popular yet controversial idea on its head. Before we jump into the topic, I just want to tell you about something really cool that I started this week. For as long as I've been creating content, I've longed to create a connected community out of those that listen and engage individually where they are. So as of this week, we are making that a reality. If you want to connect with other viewers and listeners, follow the link to our Discord channel. Discord is a free chat server application that many streamers and gaming communities use. No more Facebook groups or other social media platforms that many of us are trying to reduce our use of as it is. And if you're worried about your name being associated with it, you can make your own custom username and be, for the most part, anonymous. And on top of all of that, Discord features voice channels, so we'll be able to host live conversations, play games together, host watch parties, and more. Now, the server was created just this week, and this video is the first announcement of it outside of one podcast episode. This means that I need your help. It may be awkward at first as more of us join, but you can help us make it through that phase by participating and starting conversations yourself. There's channels for each podcast, and for those who have questions about faith or the Bible, and even for those who are just fans of video games, anime, or sports. You aren't just joining a community. You get to be a part of helping us build one together. It's free to join and participate, so follow that link in the description and join today. If you've never heard the term safe space before, or you're just not generally familiar with it, the idea behind a safe space is an environment that is sensitive to the emotional, mental, and physical realities that its participants experience. For example, many safe spaces reject homophobic language, racist language, hate speech in general, ableism, and more. This has become a term that is used increasingly in progressive and liberal circles to describe an intentional effort to provide an environment that is as safe as possible for all of its inhabitants. For those on the right, safe spaces tend to represent political correctness and the rejection of views that one disagrees with, and really a limitation on things like freedom of speech. Critics of safe spaces believe that you should be exposed to ideas that you disagree with and that make you uncomfortable, because that's how we grow as individuals and as a society. They believe that to protect people from all things they disagree with ultimately stunts growth and leaves people weak and lacking in tenacity. Safe spaces were popularized mainly on university campuses, but many churches have adopted them as they pursue more transparent and authentic community through things like small groups, especially in regard to youth ministry. If you've ever been to a Bible study in recent years that includes youth, you may have heard them open by saying that this is a safe space for anyone to share what is on their heart without fear or judgment or harsh criticism or rejection. And overall, I do believe that safe spaces can allow for conversations to take place that normally wouldn't. I also believe that many of the people that are critical of safe spaces are people who cannot accept that their language and their treatment of other people is harmful and negative and accomplishes nothing but pain. I think the world currently has a view of safe spaces as an artificial environment that we can enter and exit at will. We designate a room as a safe space, or we designate an event as a safe space. So when we talk about making our churches safe spaces for community members to attend, what we mean is that we want a stranger who doesn't believe what we believe to be able to walk into our doors and not face judgment or criticism because they're currently living their life different from the standards that church members do. In my denomination, these initiatives usually revolve around strangers entering a church who have tattoos or drug addiction, in some cases heavy amounts of jewelry, and other general lifestyle choices that many members within those churches may disagree with. The inherent presumption here is that by saying you're going to create a safe space within your church, you are automatically acknowledging that your church isn't one currently. And therein lies the problem. I don't think safe spaces are artificially created environments. In fact, when I look at the world, every single place that I look is a safe space. You see, I don't think that the proper starting place when discussing safe spaces is how to create them, because the truth is that all of us are a safe space. Every single church, school, or university workplace, friend group, family, club, and individual is right this second a safe space. The question isn't how do we become that which we already are? The question is, who are we a safe space for? Because the bottom line is that all of us are a safe space for something. Take shootings like Ahmaud Arbery, or school shootings or terrorist attacks and more. None of these incidents were done by people who randomly decided to carry them out. These were people whose inner prejudices were permitted to exist by those around them. And in some cases, these prejudices were actively encouraged and celebrated. There's a phrase, "You teach others how to treat you." The idea is that what you let others do to you and around you, and how you treat them, teaches them what is appropriate behavior around you. When we apply this phrase to the idea that all of us are a safe space, then it would logically follow that we are safe spaces for whatever we allow people to get away with unchecked in our presence. When toddlers fall and hurt themselves, the first people they will look at is their parents. If their parents show major concern, the toddler will match this reaction by crying. But if parents keep calm and are unfazed and unsurprised by what has just taken place, oftentimes the toddler will get right back up and continue on like nothing happened. The parent is teaching a child what the appropriate reaction is. And every time someone does something inappropriate in your presence, they're looking for a similar cue. Will you challenge them on it? Will you celebrate it? Or will you allow it at least to go unchallenged? Your response, or lack thereof, will show them exactly where you stand. So all those people that say that safe spaces are inherently bad, are they themselves safe spaces for other people who believe that safe spaces are bad? It means that even the most vile, rude, and ruthless person that you know is a safe space for others like them. Racists are safe spaces for other racists. Womanizers are safe spaces for other womanizers. And you are a safe space for anyone who engages in behavior that you permit in your presence. When you ask how you can be a safe space for any particular demographic, and you identify all the problems that you need to solve before you can be that safe space for them, you're not only identifying obstacles to your success, you're identifying the exact kind of people and ideas that you are already a safe space for. It's not just that you aren't a safe space for someone specific, it's that you are actively one for someone else. This is why after the Ahmaud Arbery shooting, one of the big lessons that I tried to talk about and teach through my podcasts was to make racism a non-negotiable in your friendships and family relationships, that you would not allow anyone to be racist or act racist in your presence. But in the same way that you would tell a partner that it's not okay to cheat on you, and that if they do, you will kick them out of your life, you would also tell those that do racist things and say racist things that if they continue with those beliefs and the actions that they are currently engaging in, well, those have no place in your life, and neither will they. Every single incident of violence and hatred didn't happen because someone woke up one day and decided randomly to do something terrible. Every single one of those individuals was put on a path by those around them that showed them what behavior was okay. This is why neutrality is always picking a side. Because by refusing to confront the things that we disapprove of, we wave a flag that says those things are at least okay. How can we say that we are against bullying, but allow a bully to beat someone else up? All those kids in the schoolyard that watch a bully beat up a defenseless kid are siding with the bully. All of those schools that punish people with zero-tolerance policies that don't work are actually siding with the bully. Silence is not objectivity or neutrality. Silence is permission for the person with the most power to do whatever they please. I'm tired of hearing people and organizations say that they will create a safe space for anyone. I just don't think that that is the right way forward, and ultimately, I believe that it takes personal out of the equation. It is a way for us to assume the best of ourselves and perpetuate the idea that there's no way we could ever be a part of the problem. When we ask the question, who am I a safe space for? Suddenly, things get real. When you begin to analyze the things that you let other people around you get away with on a daily basis, it becomes incredibly apparent what behaviors and attitudes you are willing to allow in your life. And by letting them go unchecked in the people around you, you're communicating to them that that behavior is not just okay, but acceptable. Once we realize the people that we have become safe spaces for, then it's time to ask the question, who do we actively want to be a safe space for instead? Maybe you're already doing great in this area. And maybe you're already a safe space for the exact kind of person you want to be one for. Or maybe you're not. I think one trap that we fall into is believing that we are a safe space for someone because we will allow that person to share their innermost parts of their life without judgment or consequence around us. But if we allow others in our lives to exhibit hatred toward the exact person that we would let speak freely to us, then how exactly are we really a safe space for that person? How can we say that we are anti-racist and then allow people to display racist attitudes and behaviors in our presence without ever being checked on it? How can we say that we are anti-judgment and then allow people to judge others in our presence without confrontation? Many times, I have failed at the exact thing I'm talking about in this video. There were times I believed that I was a safe space for one kind of person, but never challenged those who displayed bigotry, discrimination, and hatred toward that very person that I wanted to be safe for. It's a journey for all of us, and I believe that we can all become a safe space for the people that we desire to be that for. And I believe that we can stand up to the inappropriate attitudes and behaviors and language that cause so much strife, oppression, and division. The easiest and quickest way to find out the limits of your own safe space is to identify your own boundaries. Boundary setting is one of the most important and crucial steps in determining who we are safe spaces for. So if you're looking for a great place to start, jump into boundary setting and how to establish and enforce healthy boundaries in your life. Learning to say no is one of the most important skills anyone can learn. And so I've included some helpful resources in the description below if that's something you're interested in checking out. Every time that we allow someone to get away with saying something or doing something terrible, we are giving tacit approval of their actions. And in the church, we send the message that racism, sexism, bigotry, discrimination, and hatred are all welcome in the body of Christ. The only way someone who behaves inappropriately learns that their behavior is inappropriate is by being confronted and told the truth. What they do at that point is their choice. But if we tell someone that their actions are not okay, and then we allow them to repeat those actions without consequence, then we have shown what our true colors are. I believe that we can be better, and I believe that we can call others to be better as well. And so I hope that this video has opened up your eyes to how you can improve in this area and in your own life. And if you've made it this far, make sure to hit subscribe and follow the link to join our Discord. And leave a comment down below. Who have you been a safe space for that you did not intend to be? And who do you want to be one for moving forward? What steps will you take to become the person that you feel called to be? Follow the links down below to hear my podcast Absurdity and a Beautiful Faith, or get some sweet merch from the Absurd Podcast Network. See you next time.